We're going to be getting down and personal today, so you definitely want to stick around and watch the entire video. Hi, and welcome to my channel, Shades of Sage, where I discuss all things motherhood. My name is Tashima, I am a doula and mom, and I am currently expecting, and today we are going to talk about weight gain during pregnancy. So I'm going to go over the current guidelines for weight gain during pregnancy, some reasons why weight is important during pregnancy or weight gain is important during pregnancy, how many additional calories you need per trimester to sustain a healthy pregnancy, and then my personal weight gains with my pregnancy so far. So if any of that interests you, just keep watching. So first we're going to go over some guidelines. So this is how much weight you should be gaining based on your weight pre-pregnancy. So based on how much you weighed pre-pregnancy. So this is based on the BMI calculator or the BMI index. So if you don't know your BMI, you can always look it up. It factors in your height and your weight, and then it will tell you your BMI for your height and for your weight, and if you're in a healthy category or not. But if you're starting off at a healthy weight or a healthy BMI, then a recommendation is that you're allowed to gain 25 to 35 pounds. If you are underweight, so if you're underweight for your height before you get pregnant, then you should gain anywhere from 28 to 40 pounds. And if you are overweight / obese, then a recommendation is that you gain no more than 15 to 25 pounds. So those are the current recommendations. Like I said, that is based off of the BMI index. So you can always put that into a calculator to figure out where you stand if you are in your early pregnancy or if you plan on getting pregnant, to know just kind of a guideline how much you should be gaining or how much is recommended that you gain throughout your pregnancy. So some reasons why weight gain is important during pregnancy is because gaining too much weight could put you at risk for some negative birth complications. So if you're overweight and you gain too much weight for your body, that puts you at risk for preterm labor, C-section, high blood pressure, preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, and the potential of birthing a large baby. And so on the flip side of that, being underweight or not gaining enough during your pregnancy puts you at risk of preterm labor again as well. It also could mean that your baby may be considered small for the gestational age, and you also may have a baby who's diagnosed with IUGR, which is intrauterine growth restriction. So there are definitely cons to both gaining too much during pregnancy and gaining too little during pregnancy. Now, weight gain during pregnancy is just a natural thing. It is what's to be expected. It is good for your body to gain weight during your pregnancy. We just want to keep in mind that we don't want to gain too much during our pregnancy so that we don't have those negative complications throughout our pregnancy or with our birth. So let's talk trimesters. Now there are 3 trimesters. For each trimester, your calorie needs differ based on what trimester you're in. Now for the first trimester, you really don't need any extra calories in a day. So however you have been eating, you can eat the same way, eat the same amount of calories. Of course, eliminating certain foods or drinks or beverages that may not be healthy for a fetus. But as far as your calorie needs in the first trimester, so that's weeks 1 to week 12, 13, it really depends based on whatever calculator you're using. But for the first trimester, you don't need any additional calories. However, for your second trimester, so that's weeks 13 to about weeks 28, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you do need additional calories in your diet. So anywhere between 300 to 350 calories, you will need to take in those extra calories a day to sustain the growing fetus, because at that point, the baby does need a little bit more nutrients from you. And so eating an extra snack or two will help you to be able to get to that 300 to 350 calorie mark. And so for your third trimester, which is anywhere between 28 weeks until you deliver, you do need more calories, even more than you needed in the second trimester. So anywhere between 450 and 500 calories extra a day, you're going to be needing to take into your diet to make sure that the baby's putting on all the extra healthy weight that you need them to put on to have a healthy birth weight when they are delivered. So again, that's just adding like another healthy snack to your day, or just maybe even splitting up your meals to more frequent meals, but just making sure that you are getting those extra calories in at the end when the baby is packing on its most weight before delivery. Now, if you're carrying multiples, the recommendation is 300 calories per day for each baby or for each fetus. So depending on if you're having twins or triplets or even more, you want to calculate how much or how many calories that would mean for you, because you need to be feeding both of the babies or all 3 of the babies, however many you're carrying, plus have enough calories for yourself. I just want to stress and emphasize that when you're pregnant, you are not eating for 2. And I just want to repeat that: you're not eating for 2. You're not eating for 2 grown people. You're eating for yourself and for a growing baby. And like I said before, before, in the beginning, you don't need that many extra calories. Towards the end though, you will need those extra calories. It really does help the baby to put on that fat. They gain the most of their weight through that last trimester. So you really want to make sure that you're taking in the calories that you need. So I thought it might be helpful to share my personal weight gains during my pregnancy. So I have been pregnant 3 times, and I'm going to share where I started and where I ended and how much I ended up gaining with each pregnancy, just so you can have a reference or just in case you're interested in knowing. So for my first pregnancy, I started off at 144 and I ended that pregnancy at 190. So I gained about 46 pounds, and with that pregnancy I was diagnosed with IUGR. So when I heard that at my 20-week anatomy scan, I thought if I eat more, the baby will get bigger. It did not work that way, so I was completely overeating, and the baby still, my daughter still ended up staying small. So that so far was the most I gained during pregnancy. Now, for my second pregnancy, I started off at 185 and I ended up at 220. So I gained 35 pounds for that pregnancy, which wasn't really too bad. But again, I did start off at a higher weight. So technically, I should have been in that 15 to 25 pound range. But that's what I ended up gaining and weighing at the end of that pregnancy. And for my third pregnancy, this one was really tricky because I started off that pregnancy at I believe 190. I ended up losing like 25 to 30 pounds because of my morning sickness. So I think I got down to like 174, and then I ended up gaining that weight plus an additional 30 pounds or so. So it's really weird, but overall I started at 190 and I ended that pregnancy also at 220. So I gained 30 pounds technically for my last pregnancy. And so for this pregnancy, I started, which has been my lowest starting weight since my first, I started at 174. I currently weigh 180, so I've gained 6 pounds so far. For reference, I'm 18 weeks today, so I'm almost halfway through my pregnancy. And as I stated in my previous video, or my baby number 4 announcement video, I am still keeping up with my exercising, so my walking and my weight training, strength training, and I am going to be doing a video on that soon because some people said they were interested in knowing how I'm trying to keep in shape, or how I'm trying to at least keep some of the weight off since losing my 60 pounds before becoming pregnant. So I will share that, but I shared all of that just to give you a reference, just so that you can see I am not perfect. I pretty much went over every single time, and for my last pregnancy or my last birth, it was perfect. Really, I had no complications, I had no issues. The labor and delivery itself was a dream. It was just, everything was perfect. So yes, even though I was overweight and technically obese for my height, because I'm only 5'3", and I was 220, it was the easiest labor and pregnancy really that I've had. I'm sharing these recommendations in this video, but again, take it with a grain of salt. Weight gain during pregnancy is healthy. It is a good thing. You do want to be gaining weight during your pregnancy. I would say the biggest thing to take away is just try not to use it as an excuse to overeat or to eat everything, I guess, that you want. Of course, you have pregnancy cravings, and if I'm honest, I give in to my pregnancy cravings almost all the time. And one of the reasons why is because I suffer from really bad morning sickness. So if I'm not eating what I crave, that's when the morning sickness gets worse for me, or that's when I throw up. So I pretty much have to eat all day long, at least every 2 hours or so, and the weight can pile on in that kind of situation. But yes, give in to your cravings. If you want a milkshake, go get that milkshake. Just try not to make it a habit every single day. So no judgment. I'm not judging you if you gain way more than you maybe wanted to, or way more than these recommendations, or maybe if you came under and you felt bad about that too, because I did struggle with that with my first pregnancy because she was little. I felt like that was my fault, and like I said, I overate and it still didn't really do anything. So just know, I believe personally that your body will gain what it needs to gain for that baby. So whether that's 60 pounds or whatever. For my first pregnancy, again, I did have a lot of complications because I had preeclampsia. So in 1 week I had gained like 10 to 15 pounds, and that is calculated on a scale as weight gain. But of course, in pregnancy, you have a lot of water retention. You also have a lot more blood pumping through your body. So just try to keep those things in mind when you're maybe discouraged about what the scale is saying, that your body is doing all of this work to not only grow your baby, but to sustain your baby, to sustain your body itself and prepare you for labor and delivery. And remember that weight can always be lost. It can always be lost after you give birth and after you're feeling back to yourself a little bit. If you're breastfeeding, you still want to take in those extra calories also, so just keep that in mind. But try not to beat yourself up about it too much. It's not really that much you can do. Just try to eat as healthy as you can and try to stay as active as you can, and hopefully you won't have any complications throughout your pregnancy. So that's all that I have for you today. If you are pregnant, share if you feel comfortable. Share down in the comments maybe what do you think about weight gain during pregnancy? Was it something that made you really nervous? Is it something that made you really anxious when you went to your prenatal appointments and you had to step on a scale? So just share if you would like to your weight gains during pregnancy. I know some women actually struggle with gaining weight during pregnancy. So yeah, I would love to read your comments down below. Thank you for watching today's video. If you like this video, give me a great big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Remember to let your story be your power, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.